This is Maha Vajiralongkorn, also known as King Rama X, the reigning king of Thailand. Little is known in America about the extremely controversial monarch, yet Rama X has a fortune estimated at $70 billion, making him 10 times richer than the Queen of England. And not only that, the King of Thailand is richer than any other monarch on the planet. So, today, we're going to tell you how King Rama X came to power, what exactly his crazy life looks like, and why Germany in particular is of special importance to the king. It's going to be very exciting, so stay tuned here at Wonderlane. Let's start directly with the lifestyle of the richest king in the world. Even though his fortune is officially said to be $70 billion, in Thailand it is even claimed that the king owns over $100 billion. And as befits a king, Rama X doesn't just own a palace. Instead, he owns countless properties and plots of land throughout Thailand, worth around $30 billion. The Grand Palace in Bangkok is now only used for ceremonial occasions. Instead, Rama X lives in the Dursit Palace compound, where over 13 different palaces are available to him. In addition, there is also a cattle farm, fish farms, and a school on the huge grounds. By the way, 11 rare white elephants live there. They are the famous royal figurehead and represent the prestige of the reigning Thai monarch. By the way, 10 of the elephants still come from the possession of his late father, who enjoyed extremely high esteem among the people. But although King Rama owns an entire castle in Thailand, the monarch actually lives elsewhere most of the year. And that's here, on Lake Starnberg in Germany. Here, he is said to own a 4.5 million euro villa in Feldafing, as well as a 12.5 million euro villa in Tunsingen. He bought the Stolberg villa back in 2013, and the property has a sprawling park and direct access to Lake Starnberg. In total, the structure is said to have a living area of more than 1,400 square meters. His son, Crown Prince Diepenkorn, also lives at Lake Starnberg and even attended the local Waldorf school here. The 16-year-old has lived in Bavaria throughout the past few years and is said to speak fluent German. But anyone who believes that Rama X is showing his royal side in Germany in keeping with his status is mistaken. Instead, photos of the monarch appear time and time again, causing confusion and head-shaking not only in Thailand. The 69-year-old has been spotted riding a bicycle dressed only in his underpants, and his appearances with a belly-bearing top and fake tattoos have been reported in the press all over the world. Allegedly, he has even been spotted almost naked on the Zugspitze.
Sometimes he goes to the Zugspitze without clothes, naked. Yeah.
He is also said to have been spotted picking strawberries, shopping in a Munich shopping center, and at various fur and jewelry retailers. According to an article in a tabloid newspaper, he is said to spend up to €1 million a month on gifts for his partners alone. However, he is always accompanied by numerous servants of the king, who are even said to clean the toilets of the department stores in advance and are only allowed to approach him on their knees. In Garmisch-Partenkirchen in Germany, too, the Thai king has repeatedly caused a stir in recent years. He lived there for several years in a grand hotel with its own gym, large spa area, and pool complex. And not alone, but with his second wife, Koi, and a huge company of servants, bodyguards, and allegedly more than 20 other lovers. By the way, we will explain in a moment why he has a second wife and many other partners. The monarch spends his fortune not only on real estate, coronation celebrations, and hotel stays. Instead, Maha Vajiralongkorn also has a penchant for fast vehicles. He owns an extensive collection of high-class cars, including a Rolls-Royce Phantom 4, a Maybach S600 Pullman for $1.4 million, and a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3 for $1 million. However, all this is nothing compared to his aircraft collection. King Rama X owns no fewer than 4 Boeing 737 aircraft, which he has lavishly fitted out. The value? 70 million euros per aircraft. In addition, he owns 3 Airbus A340-541s, worth 195 million euros each, as well as almost 30 superjets and helicopters. His entire fleet is said to be worth 1.5 billion euros, and in the new budget, Rama even had 60 million euros earmarketed for the maintenance of his air fleet alone. But the 69-year-old is not just a fan of these aircraft. He even flies them regularly himself. Last year, during the Corona lockdown and his stay in Garmisch, he allegedly made several strolls through Germany in his Boeing 737-800. Within a few days, he flew to Dresden, Leipzig, and Hanover, for example. But anyone who thinks the monarch visited these cities together with his harem is mistaken. In these flights, Maha Vajiralongkorn was only interested in the adrenaline rush. Each time, he touched down only briefly at the respective airports before taking off again. However, the king's greatest passion is not high horsepower means of transport, but small four-legged friends. The monarch has lost his heart to dogs. To be more precise, to one particular dog. The poodle, Fufu, is said to have been the 69-year-old king's best friend, and when it is his birthday, Maha Vajiralongkorn even organized a party for the dog. His wife at the time, Princess Rirasmi, was dressed only in a skimpy slip and fed the dog a cake. King Rama apparently loved the four-legged friend so much that Fufu even held a high rank in the Thai Air Force. At public events and royal occasions, the dog even wore uniforms or suits and was allowed to sit at the table with the other ambassadors. And even when the poodle died in 2016, the king did not let himself down. Allegedly, he imposed a 4-day national mourning and had Fufu buried according to Buddhist rituals. The cost? Allegedly several million euros. But, in fact, the life of the current king was not always as ostentatious as it currently is. So let us now come to the biography of Maha Vajiralongkorn. He was the second child of the late King Bhumibol, alias Rama IX, and Queen Sirikit, and was born on July 28, 1952 as Prince Maha in Bangkok, as the only son of the couple. Prince Maha completed his school career at prestigious private schools in England and Australia, and in the 1970s underwent military training in Canberra, Australia. It was also during this time that he married his first wife, his cousin, Princess Swamsavali, which brings us to his love affairs that have made many headlines over the years. Princess Swamsavali gave birth to their daughter in 1978, but shortly after the birth, the couple separated under mysterious circumstances. And shortly after that, their relationship with actress Sujatini Viwangsge became known. Although the two did not officially marry until 1994, they had 5 children together before their marriage. However, Princess Sujatini fled to England with her children in 1996, which Maha Vajiralongkorn apparently did not let sit on him. He brought his youngest daughter, Sirivanavati, back to Thailand, had the marriage annulled, and disinherited his 4 sons. The marriage with his third wife, Princess Rirasmi, also failed in 2014, and their story resembles a dark fairy tale. Her family was accused of corruption, among other things, and the crown prince divorced her. Surasmi then lost her previous life. She was banished from the royal court, her head was shaved, and she was placed under house arrest for life. Her son, Prince Diepenkorn, was taken away from her, and 9 family members were sent to prison. Since then, Surasmi has been living as a nun in a monastery, and contact with her son is said to be strictly forbidden. But while still married to his 3rd wife, he met the former stewardess, Suthida Vajidalongkorn, on a flight. When King Bhumibol died in 2016, Mahavajidalongkorn had himself proclaimed the new king, and at the coronation ceremony 3 years later, Suthida stood by his side as his 4th wife and queen. However, their happiness as a couple did not last long, because the new king made his bodyguard and lover, Sininat Wongvajidapakdi, called Koi, his official 2nd wife in a bizarre ceremony. At the time, she literally had to lie at his feet, while his wife, the queen, attended the ceremony with a petrified expression. Although she was briefly disowned by the king, she is now back at his side. King Rama X does not only have 2 wives, he is said to have a whole harem around him by now. All this shows that Maha is probably the craziest king worldwide at the moment. That's it with our video. Feel free to write us in the comments what you think of this lifestyle, and if you already knew the king. Otherwise, like this video if you enjoyed it, and see you next time, here at Wonderlane.